Bahrain, the Iron Empires wouldn't let go. It's small, it's flat, it's dry, and yet for centuries, the island of Bahrain has pulled empires toward it, not for what lies beneath the soil, but for where it sits on the map. In the heart of the Persian Gulf, Bahrain became a crossroads for civilizations, a checkpoint for maritime trade, and a chess piece in the great game between European powers and Middle Eastern dynasties. From the ancient world to the modern era, Bahrain has been fought over, fortified, and foreign-controlled, not because of what it is, but because of what it lets you control. Long before oil, the legend of Dilmun, Bahrain's strategic importance didn't begin in the colonial era. It started in the Bronze Age. Around 2000 BCE, Bahrain was the heart of the Dilmun civilization, a powerful, wealthy culture that traded with Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, and Arabia. Sumerian texts describe Dilmun as a place of abundance, even mythologizing it as a kind of paradise, a land where the sun rises. Dilmun wasn't just symbolic, it was economic. Copper, textiles, ivory, and dates flowed through its harbors. It served as a middleman between ancient worlds. That ancient role, as a node between empires, would repeat again and again. 1521. The Portuguese make their move. Fast forward to the 16th century. The Portuguese Empire was rapidly expanding across the Indian Ocean, creating a string of fortified ports from Africa to India. After conquering Hormuz, they looked toward Bahrain. Why Bahrain? Because it was the perfect midpoint between Persia and Arabia, because its waters were full of pearls, its people were skilled seafarers, and its shores were deep enough for gas. In 1521, the Portuguese invaded. They installed a garrison, imposed taxes, and took control of trade, holding Bahrain for nearly 80 years. But European power couldn't hold forever. By the early 1600s, Persian forces returned. The Safavid Empire returns under the Safavid dynasty. Bahrain was reabsorbed into the Persian world. Persian-appointed governors ruled through local elites, and Shia Islam, the state religion of the Safavids, became deeply entrenched on the island. But resistant Arab tribes from the Arabian mainland, many of them Sunni and outside Safavid control, increasingly challenged Persian dominance. Bahrain, once again, became a frontier between powers. In this tug-of war, a new family rose to power, and they would still be there 3 centuries later. 1783, the Al-Khalifa dynasty is born. In 1783, Arab tribes, led by Sheikh Ahmed al-Fateh, expelled the Persian forces and seized control of the island. This marked the founding of the Al-Khalifa dynasty, a tribal ruling family originally from the Najd region, and part of the Bani Utbur tribal confederation. Their rule wasn't without tension, especially with the island's Shia majority population, but it brought stability in a new era of Arab leadership. Still, Bahrain would not rule itself for long, because in the 19th century, a new empire arrived, and it brought gunboats. The British entered the Gulf. In 1861, Bahrain signed a perpetual truce of peace and friendship with the British Empire, effectively becoming a British protectorate. It wasn't formal colonization, but it was control. Britain managed Bahrain's foreign policy, defense, and maritime security. It established a political residency in Manama and installed British advisors to oversee internal reforms. Why did Britain care? Because Bahrain was the perfect base for protecting oil routes through the Gulf, monitoring Persia and the Ottomans, projecting naval power from India to the Suez Canal. By the early 20th century, Bahrain had become the administrative nerve center of Britain's Gulf presence, decades before oil was even discovered in commercial quantities. 1971, independence. Finally, in the post-World War II wave of decolonization, Bahrain pushed for sovereignty. After negotiations and AU-backed plebiscite, Bahrain gained full independence in 1971. The British left. The Al-Khalifa family stayed, transitioning from tribal sheiks to monarchical rulers, but the shadows of the past still linger. Iran never fully abandoned its historical claim to Bahrain. British influence remained in the form of advisors and military ties, and Bahrain's strategic position continued to draw in foreign powers, especially the United States, which now maintains its Fifth Fleet headquarters in Manama. A small island with an outsized role, Bahrain has never been the biggest or the richest country in the Gulf, but it has always mattered, because in the Gulf geography is power. Control Bahrain, and you control a slice of sea that touches Iran, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the shipping lanes of the world. That's why it was invaded by Portugal, claimed by Persia, protected by Britain, and why, to this day, it remains at the heart of Gulf geopolitics. In Bahrain's story, you see a deeper truth. Sometimes the most important places are not those with the most land, but those with the best view of the sea.